Hey y'all, Rob the American here, and welcome to Chapter 5 of Tales of Manchester and Watches. Today, I'm going to take y'all down to a street, and not just any street. It's Manchester's own King Street. And King Street is important because during the 20th century, it was the center of banking, of the banking industry in the northwest of England. And there's some amazing buildings there. So we're going to walk up King Street and then have a seat at a really special place on King Street. But I'll keep that a secret until we get there. And on my wrist today is this. Have a look at that. Wow. So I'm going to strap this on. And I'm going to get my coat because, again, it's cold. And we'll have a wander on down. Hope y'all will join me. Come on. All right, y'all, we are making our way down to King Street. It's a gray day. Check out this cap. Picked this up at Sainsbury's yesterday. Looking stylish. Let's flip this around and see where we are. All right, y'all, we're coming up on King Street at the light. On your right-hand side is the old Northern Rock. And then on the left-hand side was the old Lloyd's Bank. Have a look at those beauties. Wow. Just don't build them like that anymore, do they? And here we have King Street itself. You can see one incredible building after another, with one unfortunate exception. This red brick building was the Prudential Assurance Offices. And at 53 King Street stands the old Lloyd's Bank building. Have a look at that. The detail, it's insane. Wow. All right, check this out, y'all. At 88 King Street is the Ship Canal House. Have a look at that. Look at what's at top. It's a statue of Poseidon, no doubt, putting a spell on the ships to bring them safely into the harbor. Wow, that's cool. Alright guys, check this out. Directly across the street from the Bank of England building stands this. Can you believe it? An architect actually got paid to design this. Should have gotten sued for malpractice. Look at that. One can only imagine what a cool building had been on the site originally. It was torn down for that. And near the top of King Street, at 100 King Street, stands what was Midland Bank. This is now a hotel and a restaurant. Have a look at that. This is one of my favorite buildings in Manchester. Wow. At the bottom is one of those celebrity restaurants. I forget which chef it is. It's either the one that's too nice or the one that screams at people. I can't remember. And there we are at the top of King Street. Wow. And standing at 81 King Street is probably my favorite building. Built in 1871, this was known as the Manchester Reform Club. And it was a gentleman's club, which is not exactly what we'd consider a gentleman's club today. Some of the members were Winston Churchill, Lloyd George, and John Stuart Mill. But declining numbers over the decades led to this building being sold. Have a look at that, y'all. That is a wow. We're gonna have a wander on in, have a seat inside because it's awfully cold outside and my hands are freezing. Trying to hold this camera steady. We're going to go into the House of Books and Friends. Have a seat, have a story, and have a coffee. All right, y'all, we are going into the House of Books and Friends. We come armed and ready. Let's go on in. Let's have a wander on in. Now this is an independently owned and operated bookstore. Their mission is to combat loneliness and social isolation. They want every customer or visitor to leave their shop feeling better connected with the community. Now, when I first heard that, I kind of rolled my eyes and thought, oh God, that just sounds like some virtue signaling. We've all heard that before. But what I found is that is actually what they do. I've come in here many times, and there are groups of people chatting. There's book clubs, all kind of neighborhood folks just getting together, and they are living the mission that they set up. Now, it's a nonprofit and was set up by a community interest company, by a local law firm. Have a look at that. All right, y'all, got a special treat for you. We're getting ready to go into a time warp. Have a look at this. Wow. That is sick. It's like we're stepping back into the Victorian era. Look at this. This is all the building's original features. Well, except for the big screen TV. But it's like we've entered Dickens' Christmas. Wow, look at this. You can almost picture Bob Cratchit and his family huddling around the Christmas tree. Wow, look at that. Oh my gosh. That is insane. All right, y'all, we've had a seat. You can see we are surrounded by books, and we have this. Wow. This is the Seamaster, Omega Seamaster 300. And not just any Seamaster 300, this is the Summer Blue 75th Anniversary Edition. Now, the Seamaster originally came out in 1948 as an aviator watch and was given to pilots in the RAF. Over the years, it's evolved, and this is more of a sports version. Now, how this watch first came into my awareness was I was at home with my family over the summer and gone, as I always do, snuck away to look at watches. Went to the Omega boutique at the Galleria in Houston, and they had this in the case. So of course I asked it to try it on, and I tried it on, and it was great and yet tragic at the same time. The great part was that I put it on and I was dazzled, wowed by it. The tragic part was that I realized that it wasn't for me. And the reason is because of this. Look how thick that is. That case, this is a really chunky case, and it just overwhelmed my wrist. And I thought, nope, it's not for me. But I still loved it. So, moved on. Turns out, when I came back to Manchester, a good friend of mine, who's an Omega nut in the best sort of way, bought it. So that's why we have this today. He's been kind enough to lend this for me to show y'all this. What can you say about Omega? I think, along with Rolex, Omega and Rolex are probably the two most recognized brands in the world. My dad had an Omega, but I don't know what happened to it. When he died, I just lost track of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if my sneaky brother ended up getting his paws on it. But yeah, I've always been a fan. Always been a fan. It has a unidirectional bezel. Have a listen to this click. How awesome is that? That is the sound of quality, y'all. There you go. Let's have a closer look at the dial. It's a gradient dial. You can see how it goes from light blue in the center, darker as it gets away from the center of the dial. It's got lollipop seconds hand and a sandwich dial. Now, a sandwich dial consists of two layers, a luminous bottom layer and a top layer with a cutout so that the bottom layer can shine through. You can see it in the 3, 6, 9, and 12, and in the hour markers. I'll show you what I mean. I've got this handy UV light. Let's light it up. Have a look at that. Now, if it were dark, this thing would be shining like a Christmas tree. Very cool. All right, y'all, have a look at this case back. See if you can tell what this is. This is Poseidon holding his trident. How awesome is that? Wow. Very cool. And as with all Omegas, they really shine on the wrist. Have a look at that. Wow. That is amazing. Look at that lollipop seconds hand. That's super cool. I love that. All right, y'all. That's it for me today. I want to thank the good folks at House of Books and Friends for giving me permission to come and film here today. And if you live in Manchester or you find yourself visiting Manchester, make sure you come down to King Street and check out all of these amazing, amazing buildings, and then come in to the House of Books and Friends for a hot drink and a book and tell them that Rob the American sent you. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel and click the bell for notifications. And I hope you'll join me next time for another Manchester awesome building and another super cool watch. Y'all be well.